Pentagon is shelling out $12 million to take down one drone that costs about $50,000, and the companies manufacturing those interceptor missiles would rather you not look too closely at reality. Here's a calculation they hope you never run. Iran produces what's known as the Shahed drone. In some cases, it costs as little as $20,000 to make. It's small enough to ride in the bed of a pickup and can be concealed almost anywhere, yet it has the capability to strike oil infrastructures, desalination facilities, or even military installations. Iran is believed to manufacture around 500 of them each day. With an estimated inventory of 80,000 units, these drones are inexpensive, expendable, and alarmingly effective. Now consider how the United States responds. It relies on a system called THAAD, where a single interceptor missile carries a price tag of roughly $12.7 million. The Patriot system is less expensive, and even that still costs about $3.7 million. So when a $50,000 drone heads towards a target, the US launches a missile that's worth around $12 million to try to stop it. If the first attempt fails, which they often do, they try again, and sometimes even a third time. That means $25 to $36 million is spent neutralizing a drone that costs less than a standard pickup truck. This is how a financial spiral begins. During the open days of the Iran conflict, the UAE reportedly spent approximately $1.2 to $2.6 billion on air defense measures. Meanwhile, Iran's estimated cost was around $194 to $390 million. For every dollar Iran invests in a drone, Gulf nations may be spending roughly between $15 to $36 to counter them. That imbalance can't continue forever, and both sides are aware of it, and the situation becomes even more concerning. For the fiscal year of 2026, the US only intended on purchasing between 25 to 37 additional THAAD interceptors. At the current pace of usage, that supply could be exhausted within days. So why didn't the US pivot sooner? In some ways it did. The Pentagon quietly delivered a similar drone known as Lucas. It's essentially a reverse-engineered version of the Shahed, built by an Arizona-based company called SpectreWorks, with an estimated cost of $35,000 per unit. Iran created a drone so strategically effective that the US military ultimately replicated the design and began deploying it in operations involving Iran. Its first reported combat use took place in Operation Epic Fury. However, production of Lucas remains limited. America's drone manufacturing pipeline is still in its infancy, while Iran has been mass producing Shahed drones over 10 years and has even transferred that technology to Russia, which invested $2 billion creating a factory dedicated to building them. The uncomfortable question in Washington is simple. Why did this shift take so long? The US observed these drones wreak havoc in Ukraine for years. They were also deployed across the Middle East, and the cost imbalance was clear to anyone willing to do the math. The problem is, the defense sector doesn't generate major profit from $35,000 drones. Revenue comes from $12 million interceptors, $360 million Patriot batteries, and massive programs like the F-35 that cost into the trillions. In recent years, defense contractors have spent roughly $148 million in lobbying lawmakers. Over the past 2 decades, the 5 largest contractors have secured roughly $2.1 trillion in government contracts. The financial incentive favors what's building expensive, not necessarily what's efficient.